4 rupees as allotment money, 2 rupees as a first call, and the final call. The company has received application for the 2 lakh shares, right? So in the problem, which account would be debited and which account would be the credited? Now the very first thing that you have to understand, look, whenever we're talking about that company just came out with a public issue, okay, the very important thing that you have to understand, if we talk about the application, if we talk about the allotment, if we talk about the first call, and this is also the final call as well, so you can understand these all are just considered as the installments, okay. These all considered as an installment of what? Installment of, like, you can understand, the share capital, okay. So these all are the part of the share capital, like the application, like the allotment, like the first call or the final call, all is just related to what? That is share capital, okay. So now the question is that company came out with a public issue, so which account should be debited in this case, and which account should be the credited in this case? So you have to understand the very first thing, that what will exactly happen. The very first thing, that whenever the company is just receiving the payment through its application process or application, these all just understand as a process all as well, okay. So you can understand the very first thing, that what would exactly happen. The very first thing, the bank account would be debited, while the share capital account, or what, the share application, right? So what account that is going to credit? That is your share application account going to be credit in that scenario, okay. So the correct answer of this question, that would be the first, right? So you have to understand, at, like, in reference to what company is going to receive the money, the very first thing that, or the very first process, that company actually issuing the shares, and like company inviting the applications, okay. So company inviting the applications from the public, so who just want to become the shareholder of the company, just applied for that. So from that you can understand, suppose that company want 4 rupees as an application money. That means all the all the share, like all the public who just want to become the shareholder for the company, just give the payment in respect of the application, okay. So this will be known as your bank account will be debited, while share application account going to be credited in this case. So the correct answer, that would be the first option, okay. I hope it is understandable, and these all are just known as the installments for this share capital. Actually, when we talk about this 10 rupees, you can understand company actually want this 10 rupees, like one share, like the one share amount, that is a 10 rupees. So you can understand company actually want this 10 rupees in the installment. The you can understand the application, allotment, first call, and the final call. So this is your share capital, okay. So the correct answer of this would be the first question. Second, an error that nullifies the wrong effect of another error. Whenever we're talking about the error, while we are just understanding the chapter of the trial balance, so what would be the answer of this? Just tell me, what would be the answer of this question? When we just understood the trial balance chapter, in the trial balance we actually understood about the classification of the errors, right? So in the classification of errors, you can understand a very important error, that is compensating error. So what we understand by the compensating error, whenever we're talking about that one error actually nullifies the wrong effect of the another. Suppose that we are talking about just a minute, okay. suppose that okay suppose that we are talking about okay suppose that we are talking about this is a debit side and this is a credit side, okay. So we are talking about, suppose that we actually undercast the debit balance with the 1000 rupees, and by mistake we actually undercast the credit balance also with the 1000 rupees. So you can understand, here we are actually just talking about that one error is nullifying the another error, okay. So this is known as a compensating error. I hope it is understandable for everyone. Okay. Next question. Sales of the 560 rupees is entered in the sales book as a 650 rupees. Okay. The correct total of the debit side of the trial balance that is given, assuming no other error. So what is the total of the credit side of the trial balance? So definitely it is just asking the wrong balance, because you will understand that what is the, why we make the debit, why we make the trial balance, because we know that the debit balance is actually equal to the credit balance, or debit balance should be equal to the credit balance. Okay, so that's why we actually prepare the trial balance. So you can understand the sale would come where, like on the debit side or on the credit side. Now we are going to understand a very important concept here, that whenever we are talking about the trial balance, that what component we keep on the debit side. When we talk about the assets, when we talk about the expenses, that all keep under the debit side, while liabilities, income, gains, that all just comes under the credit side of the trial balance. Okay, so I think it is till here it is understandable for everyone. So now what we have to understand in this scenario, that means it is clear now that sale, if we have to record the sale that is of the 560 rupees, if we have to record that, that means it would definitely comes under the credit side. That means 560 rupees we should record on the credit side, while your debit balance is just given here, that is 2 lakh 21,240, sorry, it is given the 21,240 rupees, right? Now what should be the credit balance if this mistake has done, right? What mistake exactly done? That is sale of 560 rupees is entered in the sales book as a 650 rupees. So what the difference between that? What exactly happened? If we talk about this is debit and this is the credit side, so what exactly happened? It is actually recorded the 650 under the credit side. That means 560 here and 650 here. That means the difference is a 90 rupees, right? What is the difference? That is 90 rupees. That means because the debit balance should be equal to the credit balance. If this would happen, if this 560 would be recorded here, then the credit balance should be your 21,240. But this error just occurred. So you can understand now what would be the balance of your credit side. So you will tell 21,240 plus 90, and that will become the 21,330. That would be your answer for this question. The same type of the question you may get in the examination. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone, right? Next question. The accrual system of the income recognition make distinction between, a very important thing you have to understand, the accrual system is actually follows the matching principle, or you can also understand the matching concept. And whenever we're talking about the matching concept, what we understand, that revenue and expenses both comes both just going to record in one accounting period. Okay, so you can understand like it follows the matching concept. So the accrual system of the income recognition make distinction between what, like you can understand, it is all about record the revenue when it is earned, record the revenue when it is earned. So it is about the cash received and right to receive the cash. Okay, so that would be the answer of this, like cash received and right to receive the cash. That would be your answer for this question, right? The accrual system of the income recognition. Next question. Credit balance as per the cash book means overdraft direct deposit by the firm's debtor in the bank is first recorded by the bank. Debit of the bank charges by the bank reduce the balance in the context of the reconciliation. Which of these is correct? That we have to find out. So what would be the answer of this question? When we talk about the bank reconciliation statement, the very important thing that your cash book. And whenever we're talking about the cash book, there is a one side that is debit and another side that is credit. Okay. So we know that on the debit side, we actually keep all the cash receipts, while on the credit side, we actually keep all the cash payments. Okay, so that is your features of the cash book. What we do, that is all on the debit side we actually keep all the cash receipts, and while on the credit side we actually keep all the cash payments. So we can also understand, whenever we're talking about the customer's bank balance is actually reflecting the debit side of the cash book. Okay, so customer's bank balance is actually reflecting in the cash book, as the on the debit side, as well as the customer's liability is actually representing through the credit side of the cash flow. Okay, so if this statement is given, that is credit balance as per the cash book means overdraft, then it is correct. Okay, you can understand this is somehow the liability that customer have to pay, That's why it is like written here, that is stated balance as per the cash book. And the same type of the question you may get in the examination, where the credit balance as per the cash book is given, and you have to recognize that you have to record this, like when you just going to reconcile the cash book to the passbook. So you have to just understand, if the credit balance as per the cash book this statement is given, then you have to record that transaction with the negative figure. Okay, this is important to understand. So second is a direct deposit by a firm debtor in the bank is first recorded by the bank. This is also correct. Suppose if we are talking about this is a company, and we know about this is a company or this is a firm, and the firm manager just if any transaction that is related to the bank, suppose that firm manager issued the check, if the firm manager deposit the check, okay, so you can understand he or she just going to immediately record that transaction. But in the case of, we are talking about, suppose that we are talking about one of the debtor of this company, okay, and he just went to the bank and directly deposited the amount, so customer is not aware of that, okay, so that's why we are talking about that bank is first recorded this transaction, okay, so this would be also correct. First correct, second correct. Third, debit of the bank charges by the bank reduce the balance. This is also correct. Look, what we are saying, we are saying the debit of the bank charges by the bank reduce the balance. This is also correct. Okay, when we talk about the debit of the bank charges, that you can understand it is also reduce the balance. So in the context of the reconciliation, which of these is correct? So the correct answer, that would be the A to C all. The correct answer of this, that would be the A to C all. Okay, I think it is understandable for everyone, right? Now the next question. The profit represent the excess of the receipts over the payment as per the which of the following methods? Okay, whenever we're talking about the profit represent the excess of receipts over the payment, okay, it is actually as per the following the your cash method. Okay, whenever we're talking about the cash method, so what we understand in the cash method, the cash receipts and the cash payments, right? So you can understand the profit represent the excess of the receipts over the payment as per which method, and you have to keep simple everything. Okay, you have to just strong your concepts, and because the concept stands there, but the question changes. So the correct answer of this, that would be the cash method, right? Next question. A firm purchased machinery worth of 2,30,000 and spent 15,000 on its installment. Its expected useful life is a 5 years given. When its scrap value will be the 45,000. So what is the amount annual depreciation that we have to calculate? Okay, and you also just add here that you have to calculate with the straight line method. Okay, SLN, that is a straight line method you have to calculate. So suppose that how we can just calculate this. What is the amount annual depreciation? We are talking about any machine that is purchased by us, that is 2,30,000. Okay, and the very important what I told you, the very important thing what I told you, that you have to follow while calculating the depreciation, that you have to consider the total asset value. Okay, so we are talking about the 2,30,000 rupees, and it would be just added plus the 15,000 rupees on the installation, right? So 2,30,000 plus 15,000 on its installation, and expected useful life that is given the 5 years, and when its scrap value will be it is given the 45,000 rupees. Okay, so scrap value that is given the 45,000. So what is the amount annual depreciation that we have to calculate? Okay, so now just tell me very important thing, that total asset value. What is the total asset value? Then you will say that is 2,45,000, and what is your scrap value, that is given the 45,000. Sometime in the examination, scrap value, or you can understand residual value, is not directly given. Sometimes it is given like this: after useful life, the value of the asset that would be. Then you have to understand, whenever we are talking about the value after the useful life, that just considered as a scrap value or residual value. Okay, so you have to understand how to solve this question. Now we have to calculate the annual depreciation. So you will just write here 2,45,000 minus 45,000, and it would be divided by the 5 useful life. So the correct answer for this would become the 2 lakh, and it is divided by the 5, and the correct answer for this, that would be the 40,000 rupees, your correct answer, right? So this is how we have to solve the questions. I'm hoping that everyone just understood this, right? Next question. Which of the following errors is revealed by the trial balance? Whenever we're talking about the trial balance, so which of the following errors is revealed by the trial balance, that we have to just find out the correct option there. And these type of the question that actually come in the examination, that actually just going to confuse you. Okay, just try to read the options here. The wrong amount entered in the book of the original entry. Book of the original entry, what we understand, that is the journal. What we understand by the journal is a special book where every transaction, every business transaction is the first time going to record. Okay, so very first time the transaction is going to be recorded into the journal, right? Second, wrong amount entered in the laser account. This is correct. Okay, the correct answer of this, that is a wrong amount entered in the laser account. Now just try to understand this. No, whenever we're talking about that, which of the following that is error is just revealed by the trial balance. So when we're talking about the laser, you have to understand laser is nothing but it actually follows the classifying phase of the accounting. It actually follows the classifying phase of the accounting, right? Okay. So the correct answer, that would be the wrong amount entered in the laser account. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone. And what we understand by the classifying phase, when we are talking about that, we actually just going to make the one group of the similar items. Okay, so that is known as a classifying phase, and the wrong amount entered in the laser account, that would be the correct answer of this, right? Next question. Name of the accounts involved in the following transactions, like the firm has purchased machinery from XYZ for cash. So, when we are just getting these kind of the questions in the examination, the very first thing that you have to understand, that, what type of the accounts that is actually involved in this transaction. The very first thing, that whenever we're talking about the firm has purchased machinery from XYZ for the cash. So you can understand, for the company, actually machine is coming in. Okay. So for the company, actually machine is coming in, and the cash is going out from the business. Okay, so that's why if I have to make the debit and credit entry for that transaction, suppose that, so what would be the entry? That would be machinery account would be debited, while your cash account would be going to credited. So what would be the answer of this question? That is cash and machinery. Now the very important thing I would like to tell you, that if you just able to recognize that which account is going to be involved, like the machine account and the cash account. Now the very big problem that you will face, that which account should be debit and which account should be credit. Now you can understand, whenever we're talking about the machinery account, okay, so that actually just you can understand, it is an asset for the company. And whatever the asset we are talking about, asset always comes under the real account category. And for the real account category, good debit and credit concept says that debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So in that scenario, machine is actually coming into your business, while cash is just going out from the business. That's why the correct answer of this question, that would be the machine account would be debit, and the cash account would be your credit. So cash and machinery, that would be your answer for this question. Okay, next question. The balance as per the cash book of the firm that is given, and it is observed that bank has not credited that amount of 5,000 rupees that is deposited at the cash. Bank has credited 30 rupees as commission refund. And what is the balance as per the passbook, that we have to tell. The very first thing that you have to understand, if this is written like the debit balance as per the cash book of the firm, that is 60,000. So whenever the cash book balance that is given, just write the passbook here. After that, just make the table here, that is cash book and passbook. Now, the balance as per the cash book that is given the 60,000 rupees. Now you can understand here, nothing mentioned that asset than the cash book. Because we are talking about the passbook here. Okay, so that's why we are just taking the reference of the passbook, right? So passbook balance, if passbook balance is a lesser than, so with how many, with how much amount it is lesser than, you will say that it would be lesser than the 5,000. Okay, now now the after that, bank has credited the 30 rupees as commission refund. So bank has credited the 30 rupees as refund, but customer is not aware of this transaction. Okay, because a very important feature you learned that customer is actually immediately going to record this transaction. So now if the bank is credited, so customer is not aware of that transaction, so that passbook balance is a greater than the your cash book balance, and by what amount, then you will say plus 30. Now, what would be the answer of this? That is 50,000, 55,030 rupees. That would be the correct answer of medium batches of the JIB. Okay, you only have to use the code Y422. With this code, you are going to get the big discount on that. Second, when we talk about the test series, that how much test series is important, so you can understand it actually gives a final test to preparation. Whatever you learned throughout the like a month, like March, April. Okay, so this is a time when you should just enroll for the test pack also, so that it gives final test to preparation. Okay, so like you are getting the 22% off on the test pack also. You only have to use the code by422 for that, right? And the very important thing I would like to say, the big interbank quiz is going to be just held like on the 22 May, okay, at the 11 a.m. For the registration, you just find the link like below this video. Okay, so just register for that and just going to participate on for the big interbank quiz. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching in this session, and like this video if you're liking our effort, liking our content, and share this video to your friends and subscribe the channel so that you may get regular update from our side. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining me in this session.